Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Welcome
hello.
to another episode of the Business Development TVTT broadcast. We are here live. I'm Hilary De Freitas, the marketing mom, and
And Belinda Chinley, the website Trinidad and Tobago, and we are announcing terrible headache.
it's bad hair day. So we
Bad
are here
headache.
live every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. And for all our viewers everywhere, we are going live both on Facebook and YouTube so that you're able to join us wherever you are. All right. So if you want to
And
access
StreamYard
us,
allows the questions to come in, correct?
yes, correct.
Right here on
So
StreamYard. So if you yourself are trying to figure out how to do live broadcasts, we just gave it to you.
yes, streamer. All right. So anyway, we are Bernie. You're gonna to
All right.
this month. Yeah. So this month, Bernie's gonna talk about that.
I am excited. I'm excited because Hillary and I, even though, yes, we're doing these weekly broadcasts and yes, we have clients and so forth, but we were in serious training. Training is never done. And so, therefore, you're always staying ahead of the curve. Um, so, from all of that comes June's content. Hey, Jeff. So we are
Lazy
talking
man.
about the lazy man's way, right? I was trying to explain this last night, but anyway, it's pretty can be very debatable. But the lazy ways to successful social media marketing. You're, we are in relaunch, we are in restart, we are in re-engage with your customers. All right. Government, COVID, they disrupted us. They told us to stay home. Let's just stop complaining, being miserable, and get back to work. All right.
Yeah.
Purpose of social media marketing is customer acquisition. That's it. Customer acquisition. So, how are you going to get to customer acquisition? Is by looking at your customer journey, mapping out your customer journey. There's several ways to do it. You could do it the high technology way, or you could do it the low tech way. But it's important that you do it. Keep your customers excited to see you and to read your posts, content, blogs, whatever it is, podcasts, broadcasts. Encourage them to eventually buy from you. Um, that's your basics of what the social media campaign is supposed to do. Okay, so there are three ways you can do social media. It satisfies awareness. It tells people about you. It satisfies comparison and information, which is the middle of the sales funnel, where people are searching and comparing different solutions. Should I buy from you? And it also does the bottom of the sales funnel, where it you can actually get purchases because you're running an ad campaign. And social media and ad campaigns are very much entwined and do work
Yeah. They
together.
work together. Very much so.
So the lazy ways to evergreen customer acquisition. Three things really. You tell people that you exist, you listen to what people are saying, you do your sales, your promos, and your discounts. And everything has its place and has its weight. Okay? Weight meaning WEIGHT, weight. So when you want to tell people that you exist, you can do it through ads or you can do it through organic posts, meaning you just go to your social media page and put out a post. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The tone of your social profile can be playful, it can be informative, it can be industrious. It really matters depending on the type of industry that you're in and what you want your brand to be seen as.
To be seen as,
Okay.
yes,
Now,
definitely.
a lot of
Mhm.
people, successful marketers, say that if you're a serious brand, being playful on social media actually makes sense and brings more people to you. Okay. So you want the lazy way? We're going to give you the lazy way, but you got to do it. So the hard drudgery is in the foundation. You got to
Excellent.
do the work. All right. There is foundation. in order to get to the lazy way. Collect your data, analyze your data, understand your data, make business decisions based on your
Based
data.
on data,
So the big
not
question is,
based on your emotion.
yes. So the big question is, what data are you going to pay attention to? And that's the twist in Hillary and I and Jeff's success in being on social media and having a great business. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The twist is in you are getting your data from your customers' actions. All right. So, um, so how are you going to raise awareness of your brand? You start today. You start today by putting out content. What kind of content should you put out? It all depends. All right.
Yes, it
It all
does.
depends
But
on
what's the easiest?
what's the
What's the
easiest way to
easiest?
get today? Video. All right. But
Exactly.
in the
What we're
same
doing right
sense,
now.
exactly what we're doing right now. But in the same sense, your script has to be tight. It has to be relevant. It has to be what your customers want and what your
Want to hit
customers are reacting to. All
to.
right. That's
Exactly.
why you need
Yes.
to collect, analyze, understand, and make new decisions based on the data. And yes, um, last month's data, last week's data, last year's data, gone, doesn't exist anymore. You can't make your today's decision because COVID happened. I mean, can't do anything about it. Okay, that's just the reality.
Behavior has changed because of
So,
COVID. Right?
customer behavior has changed. And that's why we're saying the lazy man's way to successful evergreen social media is in your customer behavior. All right. So you're going to listen. Listen is the next one. You need to do your research, you need to spy, and you need to record. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However it is that you record, you get nice intellectual people who love charts and who love Excel and who love mapping data, and get them to do all the
I
collection.
know
And
you get people like me all excited. I'm gonna say,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
engineering. I love it. I love it.
spreadsheets.
Yeah. So then, and it's called reverse engineering your customer
Generic.
journey. You start
Exactly.
where the customer is. And where's the customer? You need to consider the point of sale. That's what you want your customer to do. That's the ultimate goal that you want your customer to do. And you reverse engineer that because you need to figure out what are the steps I need to do to get my
To
customer
get
to take that action.
exactly to
Got it?
get more. So that's something, yeah, because that you really need to the customers who've gone through the process. You need to really see what did they do at this point, at that point. And Bernie, I remember, I shouldn't say many years ago, but a few years ago, right? I remember you had mentioned that on a webinar that we were on,
Mm-hmm.
and it was something that you learned from another internet marketer, Diane Hockman.
Right.
And she said, and what you were saying is that when you're looking at ads and when you're looking at people's offers, record for yourself what made you click, what made you move to the next step, what made you click on that ad, what emotion came out at you or whatever it was, and then what made you decide, yes, I'll put in my name and email address, and then what made you go to this step and that step. And there are people who sometimes they go through a whole sales funnel and they don't even realize they did it until they end up at the cart,
Yes.
and then they're like, wait, what am I buying? And then they're
Or
like,
you wake up the
oh,
next day and says, why did I buy that?
buy that? Exactly. So as marketers, that's always great, because if it is something that you really want to buy and it's something that you know you could understand the process, if you know what that process is, right? You could now do that for your own customers. What at each point makes the customer say yes? What did you do for that customer to make them say yes to go on to the next step and yes to go on to the next step? You know, so that's that whole reverse engineering.
Yes. And that's what we want to move you away from today, in the sense that it's doesn't begin and end with a social post.
Post.
Okay, it doesn't. That is not what social media is all about. Social media is about customer acquisition. If
It's
you
the top of
want
the
the
funnel.
customers to buy from you, you got to put in all the parts.
But exactly. Yeah.
And
And we've
then,
talked about that before on these broadcasts. Yeah.
yes,
The funnel. So
yes, we're about sales.
yeah.
We're not just about branding and awareness. Branding and
And
awareness is
hearts.
actually a benefit to the sales, because when you
Exactly.
get people buying from you, they're going to automatically tell others about you because they have enjoyed their customer journey.
Come on, experience with you. Yes, exactly.
All right.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So
Um,
reverse engineer. Were you going to talk about like
Reverse
okay.
engineer, and the thing too is, in order to track and collect data, it's called coding. You gotta code everything. Okay,
Don't make
it's
it
just
so
not
don't make
putting
it sound
image
so
up.
hard.
Doesn't sound so. It
Don't
is.
make it
Well,
sound
that's
so
why.
hard.
That's why you're my partner. You're my partner.
Don't make
Gotta
it sound
code
so hard.
everything.
Yeah, I know.
It's easy. It's
It's
easy
just a
to
piece of it's just a piece of code, right? It's just a piece of code.
Right.
And a few connections and a few, but yes. But that is where
Uh,
the groundwork comes in, right? You see that hard work in the
Foundation.
beginning, a lot of the foundation, a lot of businesses, they miss that piece. And then what they're doing, I don't want to say leave money on the table, but that's what they're doing when you don't put those pieces of code and link up all of for you to be able to track. All right. You are missing the piece, you're missing the puzzle because you don't know what's going on in your business effectively, especially if you're doing social media. If you're doing social media, you need to know where your sales are coming from, who's buying, why are they buying, when are they buying, right? How are they buying? Because I mean, right now I'm streaming from a desktop. Most people buy from
Desktop and mobile. Actually, 70%.
exactly
70% is the latest stats. Um,
yes
and,
that they
and
buy on mobile.
there is a 20% purchase. No, sorry. The person I was listening to yesterday, he says businesses they just haven't gotten it yet. The mobile searcher and buyer is 70%. Desktop is 20%, 30%. All right. The conversion of that 70% traffic is like 3%. Guess why? Because the mobile experience, there's a lot of friction and a lot of frustration, a lot of hurdles that businesses think they need to put on their mobile apps and on their mobile websites, and it's just causing people to leave
To
the
leave
cart
and abandon carts,
and
yes.
abandon the cart.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's my call out for businesses today. If you want success, if you want your marketing to give you the ROI that you expect, you need to pay attention to the details.
To the details and your tracking, your metrics.
Yes.
Exactly.
Know when your person has fallen off and why. All right.
And why, yes.
And
So that
analyze.
you could use that data.
Yes, 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 yes. I do encourage sales, promos, and discounts, but it has to be a small percentage and it has to be very purpose driven.
So this is point 3.
Point three
All
has to be
right.
very purpose driven. It has to have a reason. So, in other words, you can use your sales, promos, and discounts to bring in a whole bunch of people into your store, bring a bunch of people to your website, and then you try to do the encouraging, the nurturing. The purpose of the sales, promos, and discounts is to grow your list. So if you're not capturing the leads, not capturing names, emails, and phone numbers, okay.
How are you going to follow up with that? Because it takes like, I mean, when we got started, I think I remember hearing a stat that it takes 7 touches for a customer to buy. Now I don't know it. how that plays out now, especially in the mobile world. Mobile social media has grown tremendously in the last decade, right? You do a lot, you do practically everything on your phone. But
Mhm.
if you are not engaging and not capturing the leads, as you say, through the promotions, it's not just about, okay, here's the sale. But if you want to know more, click here, all right? Or
Right.
if you want to know when, like, I don't know how to put it, right? But the promo can't just be about the promo that you're doing today,
Mhm. The
right?
promo
Or
has to have a purpose for
exactly.
collecting and a way to encourage people
Hmm.
to buy from you. I'm
Yes,
sorry,
most
to give
people
you their
think.
name and email.
So the people who are coming back out, right? And there, I've been seeing a lot of posts, people reopening and everything.
Yeah.
So the people coming back out, they're probably going to be sharing a lot of promos and discounts.
Mhm. Now is a buyer's
What's your
market.
no?
What's my take on that?
Hmm.
What's going to cause me to come into your store is if I see that you've done the protocols and promise me that I'm going to remain safe. That's what's going to cause me to come out. I don't
So
know.
there
I
are
can't
promos and
speak for everyone.
discounts.
If it's online, maybe.
All right. But
Right now,
from a
you and I
business.
have started buying certain produce with deliveries, right?
Yes, yeah,
You know,
delivery.
it,
Yes.
it, it makes
And
sense.
I've been doing curbside, right? Because it just, yeah, because I'm not going in the stores. But for a business owner, um, the question
I
is,
would do my grocery by going in to the store. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
oh, so for the business owner, the question is, do I blast my social media with promos and discounts now?
Oh,
I mean, we're open
eh,
for business.
they've been doing it in Facebook Messenger. They've been doing it in WhatsApp. They've been doing it on social media. I'm like, yes, but give me a reason why I should come by you.
Hmm.
It's the same thing that we've been following forever. What do you call it? The teaser at the cash register. They always leave the snacks at the cash register so that the children say, can I have, can I have, can I have,
Yes. Mhm.
Um, you gotta figure out. It has to be a plan. It can't just be um, everything 20% off. You gotta get specific and purposeful. All right. And,
Right.
and, it, and the main, what have you learned? That's the big question. What have you learned in this crisis? Have you learned anything in this crisis? Have you figured out how to have a better business model? Have you figured out what business model is going to work? Have you figured out what should be your next technology purchase? And that gets me into my next thing, and I was going to say is that what people should be moving to is how to make it easier for the customer to engage with you on
Hmm.
social media. Yes, Facebook has a messenger, but that's not necessarily making it easily engage with you. I'm going after digital again. um,
They're like the post.
they finally called me. And guess what? I told them direct. I said I couldn't hold it back. I says, here what? For 5 years, your sales rep disappeared on me, and I've been trying to figure out how to get Digicel to answer me. It took me a whole year to upgrade to 4G. I went in at least 4 times, and nobody could pull up my account. Nobody could know what it is that I could do. They know how to send a message out to you, but you can't connect to them.
Connect to
And
them,
they called
and
me.
that is.
This lady calls me, of course, very polite because she's a sales rep, and she's calling me and asking me what do I want to buy, and I'm like, I finally hear from Digicel because they want to sell.
So,
Really, you know,
oh goodness.
that is my big
And
thing on what have you learned in this crisis. Pay
yes,
attention to
and
your customers. Allow your customers to come to you. This call center out in Ecuador or Philippines, that does not make it. That does not cut it. All right? Because they don't know. Questions I have for them is like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's what they told me to tell you.
so make it easier. Make it
Mm.
easier,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
if you
Wrap up on the lazy way to successful social media marketing, personalization. All right. Make your customer happy that to get a message from you. Personalization. The story I'd like to tell you is a sugar apple seed. I'm selling a sugar apple seed and I'm trying to sell to the birds. And I'm telling the birds, oh, when I get big, you're gonna be able to sit in my branches and make your nest, and it's lovely. I'm gonna give you lots of shade, and then you can eat my fruit, you know. So yeah, come by me, join me, come sit in my branches. And they're looking at the seed and like,
I'm not seeing that.
exactly,
I'm not
what are you
seeing
talking
that.
about?
What are you
Right?
talking about?
Exactly. So that is like you going out to your customer and selling them on all your features and benefit. All right.
Benefits, exactly.
Keep
The
pushing
customer
things,
doesn't make the look.
keep
Yes.
pushing at them, and yeah. So personalization or really enticing your customer on social media, on your blog, wherever you put your content, is tell your story as a tree. In fact, a tree doesn't even have to tell the birds to come and sit on me and make your branches and eat my fruits. All right? That's how you get customers. You got to tell your story as a tree. Does that make sense?
That's slow.
It's
like
slow.
like
Well,
as a for the business person, right? You're gonna, it's like,
sorry,
I
excuse me.
understand. Yes, I understand the process because I've been there, I've done it, right? But a business person who's sitting down, who's been closed for the last 3 months, and you're telling me, tell my story like a tree, that's gonna, like,
As a
as
tree.
a tree,
Yes.
right? Because that reminds me of just the other day, my daughter planted a mango seed,
Mhm.
and the next day she ran out looking for the, we're like, honey, come back in 10 years. And then they realize, right? So for the business, it's the same thing,
But
right?
the
When we're
businessman
selling,
is a tree right now. He's already
okay,
existing. He has
he's
his
already
tree.
existing. But you see, the thing
But nobody
is,
wants to
for
tell their
some,
story.
nobody wants to tell their story because they're afraid, all right? They don't want to come, they don't want to share, they don't want to do what is actually necessary to bring the people in. Now, some people may say, well, I don't want anybody to know what really going on with my business and da 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 and all of that stuff.
They don't have
You
to.
know, sharing even just a 1%, right? Because we spoke about this, transparency is the new currency. Okay. You you really, and you will reach the people, right? One of the things, and you've told me this many times, that the businesses, and the reason they don't want to share their story is because they don't want to niche out. When
Mhm.
you share a story, right? We are digital marketing professionals and we are moms. Who's going to reach out to us faster? Because we share the fact that we're moms, because we share that women, mothers are probably going to reach out to us more. We're not afraid to niche,
Mhm.
okay? We don't want to market to the masses,
Mhm.
right? You, and many businesses, they just want to get the numbers, they want to get everybody rushing in and coming in, and they're not saying, you know what, I only want these people to buy plenty. They're
Mhm.
not thinking that way,
Yes.
right? They're not thinking that if I share the story, I will get the people who I really want purchasing my product. And
Mhm.
guess what? They're going to purchase more and more and more of it, rather than trying to sell the dollar product
Mhm.
by the cash register to everybody.
Mhm. Well, that actually brings me to the point of I met many of our coaches and mentors have said this as well with regards to the niching. If
Yeah.
you pay attention to the people who love you, which is the tree selling to the birds, I don't want the dogs and the cats. All right. I want the birds. So if I'm the tree and I'm selling to the birds, I am quite happy with the income because I have, and I'm also quite happy with the work that I do because my satisfaction comes from seeing how happy the birds are and the
Birds.
fact that the birds are happy and they are coming back frequently. Okay, now it doesn't have to be every single variety of bird in the Caribbean. It doesn't have to be that. It can be a specific bird. And because we are constantly exchanging value and money to bring it into the business world, I'm going to be happy just serving 1,000 people. And those 1,000 people are going to be happy buying from me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And if you get big and you could open a branch and a 3 branches and 5 branches, then great. But make sure that you keep
Serving.
your service and what you promise to your people, keep that tight, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and only change your business model and only change your business proposition when the customer changes their buying
Exactly.
journey, which is what COVID
Exactly.
has
And yes. Right. And that is where you share your story, you listen to your audience, and then you sell that.
Yeah, I mean, we share stories, but we don't share who your child name is, and we don't share what your child did yesterday and what your child broke last week, and we don't share what arguments your children got into. That's not necessary. I don't need to bring all the messes of my life into the online world. I mean, my children finished doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You
in
could use
order,
your imagination. I mean, if you're a parent, you probably know everything already anyway.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'm saying the text that you should be paying attention to is the app and getting you, yes, it can get you an e-commerce website. Do it the simple way, okay? We have solutions, Hillary and I, in terms of getting you an e-commerce website. Um, the reason why you should buy it from us is because of speed of delivery, and we work hard at the beginning. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of back and forth with you at the beginning, and then we go to work, boom, 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 your website is
Lazy
up.
man.
Same thing with the app. Exactly, right?
Lazy
We
man.
figure out the process that's going to get the delivery on time. In terms of apps, reason why apps work best in a time like now, it's because of download speed. Where is everybody searching and buying? On their
On the
mobile,
phones.
on their
On the
phone.
mobiles.
So
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
the purpose of an app. What it
And
is that your customer needs to get from you should be on that app. Maybe one or
exactly.
two other things, but then they come
Hmm.
the further step, you know,
Yes.
entice them in small steps.
Hmm.
And
Very.
yeah, and in doing that, in focusing small, then you grow bigger according to the data that you're constantly collecting,
Yes. Hmm.
right?
And then you know how to tweak, how to change, and right. Once you collect the data, you listen to what the data is telling you, you reverse engineer, and then you have a better delivery of product and service. And then people would actually take up your promos and discounts.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
So very, a very simple, lazy way,
Yes.
right? It follows, right? You tell them
Mm.
your story, you make it simple for them, you listen to what they're telling you give them the promos and discounts as a reward for giving you the information,
There you
and then
go.
you come back around. Okay?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that is our 30 minutes. That is our wrap. Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you,
We are
Hillary.
here.
Hey,
We
Jeff.
are here every hi Jeff. Thank you for staying on with us. Um, we are here every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. I think we did really well on the 10:30 this week, right?
Yes.
You want to learn more about how to work with us, so you want a safer place to communicate with us. You don't want to share too much about your business. On the profiles that we're live on, you can always join our private Facebook group. We'll drop the link to that in the comments. All right. So have a great day, and we'll see you next week Thursday.
10:30.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.